Listen, stop for a moment. Not later. Not after you finish scrolling. Right now. Because something just interrupted your routine, and it wasn't random. You were not supposed to land here. You were not supposed to pause. And yet here you are. That alone should make you wonder, what just happened? Why did your attention shift at this exact second? Why did your spirit feel a sudden pull, almost like something unseen whispered your name? This is not coincidence. This is not algorithm. This is not just another message passing through your screen. This is interruption. A divine interruption. And it's happening because heaven is running out of time to get your attention before something unfolds right in front of your eyes. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange tension in your chest lately. That quiet feeling that something is about to change but you couldn't explain it. The way your thoughts have been restless. The way your spirit has been unsettled. Like you're standing on the edge of something, but you don't know what. You tried to ignore it. You told yourself it's just stress. Just life. Just your imagination. But deep down you knew. Something is shifting. And now, in this exact moment, heaven has stepped in. Not gently, not passively, but urgently. Because what's coming next does not wait. What's coming next does not repeat. What's coming next requires your attention right now. There are moments in life that pass quietly, and then there are moments that carry eternity inside them. Moments that divide your life into before and after. Moments that cannot be recreated once they are gone. You are standing in one of those moments. And the reason this feels intense, the reason your heart is beating just a little faster, the reason something inside you is saying don't skip this is because your spirit recognizes what your mind is still trying to process. God is calling you. Not later. Not tomorrow. Now. But here's what makes this moment different. This isn't just a call. This is a plea. A rare, sacred, almost unimaginable moment where heaven is not just speaking but reaching. You've heard messages before. You've seen words like these before. But something about this feels different, doesn't it? It feels heavier. It feels personal. It feels like it's speaking directly to you. As if everything else has gone silent just so you can hear this one thing clearly. That's because something has already been set in motion. Right now, as you are listening, as your eyes move across these words, something unseen is aligning. Pieces are moving. Doors are shifting. A moment is approaching that was prepared long before you even knew to ask for it. And here's the truth that most people miss. The biggest miracles don't arrive with noise. They arrive with a whisper. And if you're not paying attention, you miss them. That's why this interruption had to happen. Because something is about to unfold in front of you. Something you've prayed for. Something you've waited for. Something your soul has been quietly longing for. And if your focus drifts for even a moment, you could walk right past it without even realizing what you lost. Let that sink in. How many times have opportunities passed by you disguised as ordinary moments? How many times did something feel off or different, but you brushed it aside? This time you cannot afford to. This time is different. This time is marked. This time carries weight. And right now, heaven is doing everything it can to hold your attention, because the next few moments matter more than you understand. You are not here by accident. You are not listening by chance. You are here because something is about to happen, and your awareness will determine whether you step into it or watch it pass you by. So stay. Stay present. Stay aware. Because what comes next will change everything. Type "I am ready" in the comments if you feel this moment pulling on your spirit. Blessing code 2020 is now activated around you. You might still be asking yourself one quiet question. even as you listen to this. Why me? Why now, in this exact moment, did this message find its way into your hands? Out of all the distractions, out of all the noise, out of everything competing for your attention, why did this one break through? Understand this clearly. This was not random. This was not luck. This was not timing created by chance. This was divine positioning, precise and intentional, crafted beyond what your natural mind can fully comprehend. Because heaven does not operate in confusion. Heaven operates in alignment. And right now, your life has aligned with a moment that was written long before you were even aware it existed. There are moments in your life that feel ordinary, that pass without resistance, that blend into the background of your routine. But then there are moments like this, moments that interrupt, moments that pause you, moments that feel heavier than everything else around them. That weight you feel right now is not pressure, it is significance. It is the weight of divine timing pressing against your awareness, asking you to recognize that something greater is happening. You did not stumble into this message. You were guided into it. Think about everything that had to happen for you to be here right now. The decisions you made today, the pauses you took, the exact second your attention shifted. Even the things that felt like delays or distractions, they were not accidents. They were adjustments. Small, unseen movements orchestrated to bring you into alignment with this exact moment. Because what is about to unfold needed you to be here, fully present, fully aware. This is how heaven works. Not through chaos, but through precision. There are times when God speaks gently, through whispers you can barely notice. And then there are moments like this, where the voice becomes impossible to ignore, where everything inside you is pulled toward one point of focus. That is because the timing is critical. The window is narrow, and the opportunity is sacred. You may not realize it yet, but something in your life has been building toward this moment. The infusion you felt, the questions you carried, the silent prayers you thought went unanswered. None of it was wasted. None of it was ignored. It was all part of a preparation, shaping your awareness, sharpening your spirit, positioning your heart so that when this moment arrived, you would recognize it. And now it has. This is not just about hearing words. This is about recognizing a call that has your name on it. A call that was not sent to everyone, but directed specifically to you. Because there is something assigned to your life that cannot be released without your awareness. There is something prepared for you that cannot manifest if your attention is somewhere else. That is why this message feels so direct. That is why it feels personal. Because it is. There are people moving through their day right now who will never hear this. Not because they are unworthy, but because this moment is not assigned to them. It is assigned to you. And that truth carries responsibility. It means you cannot treat this like background noise. You cannot treat this like something optional. Because when heaven calls your name, it is never casual. It is always intentional. There is a reason your spirit hath been unsettled recently. A reason why things have felt slightly off, like something is shifting beneath the surface. That feeling was not confusion. It was preparation. It was your spirit being gently pulled toward awareness, being guided into a place where you would be ready to receive what is coming. And now, here you are, right at the edge of something you cannot yet see but can already feel. This is the moment where most people make a mistake. They hesitate. They question. They doubt what they are feeling. They tell themselves they will come back to it later. But later is where moments like this disappear. Later is where opportunities dissolve. Later is where what was meant to happen now becomes something that never happens at all. That is why the urgency exists. not to pressure you, but to awaken you. Because what is happening right now is not repeating, is not waiting. It is moving. And you have been positioned in this exact moment to move with it, to recognize it, to stay aligned with it. You are not here by chance. You are here because something is about to unfold that has your name written on it. Something prepared in advance, something reserved, something waiting for the moment your awareness aligns with its arrival. And that moment is now. Do not let your mind talk you out of what your spirit already knows. Stay here. Stay focused. Stay present. Because the reason this message found you is because something is about to find you too. Type "I am aligned" in the comments if you feel the weight of this moment. Blessing code 2222 is now activated around your path. There is something you must understand now. Something deeper than urgency, deeper than timing, deeper than even the miracle that is about to unfold in front of you. This moment carries a weight that is rarely revealed, a dimension of divine emotion that most people will go their entire lives without ever encountering. Because what is happening right now is not just God speaking, it is God reaching. It is God leaning in, not with distance, not with silence, but with a presence so close, so intense that it almost feels overwhelming. And this is where the truth becomes difficult for many to accept. God is not distant in this moment. God is not passive. God is not simply observing your life from afar. Lo, in this moment, there is something far more personal unfolding. Here is a plea being released. A call that carries not just authority, but emotion. A call that carries not just instruction, but longing. It is rare. It is sacred. And it is directed at you. Because there are moments when heaven watches, allowing life to unfold according to the choices you make. But then there are moments when heaven intervenes, when the silence breaks, when the distance disappears, and God steps forward in a way that cannot be ignored. This is one of those moments. And the reason it feels so intense, the reason it feels almost impossible to look away, is because something inside you recognizes the depth of what is being offered. You are not just being informed. You are being invited. But more than that, you are being urged. There is a difference between a gentle whisper and an urgent call. A whisper gives you time. A whisper allows you to drift, to consider, to delay. But an urgent call does not wait. It does not pause. It does not leave space for hesitation. It presses into your awareness, demanding your attention because what is at stake cannot be postponed. And that is what you are feeling right now. The intensity you sense is not fear. It is not pressure. It is not manipulation. It is divine urgency wrapped in love. It is the recognition that something prepared for you is so close, so near, that missing it would not just be a delay, it would be a loss of something that cannot easily return. God does not force. God does not manipulate. But there are moments when the call becomes stronger, when the invitation becomes more direct, when the urgency increases because the timing is critical. And in those moments, the tone changes. The distance closes. The voice becomes clear, undeniable, impossible to ignore. That is the tone you are hearing now. Because what is about to happen has already been set in motion. It is not a possibility. It is not a maybe. It is already unfolding. The only question is whether you will be present enough to receive it, aware enough to recognize it, aligned enough to step into it when it appears. And that is why this moment feels different from anything else. You may have ignored things before. You may have scrolled past opportunities. You may have missed signs that were placed in front of you. But this moment carries a different kind of weight. It carries consequence. It carries urgency. It carries a depth that cannot be recreated if it is lost. Because what is being offered to you now is not just information. It is connection, is alignment, is access. And that access requires your attention. There is a reason you feel this pull so strongly, a reason your spirit feels almost anchored to this moment, refusing to let you drift away. That is because something within you recognizes that this is not ordinary. This is not routine. This is not something that can be dismissed and returned to later. This is a moment that demands presence. And when you understand that, everything changes. Because now you realize that this is not about fear. This is not about pressure. This is about opportunity. A rare opportunity to be fully aligned with something that has already been prepared, something that is already moving toward you, something that is already on its way into your life. But only if you stay, only if you listen, only if you remain present in this exact moment. This is where many people turn away, not because they want to miss it, but because they do not recognize what they are holding. They treat it like something temporary, something optional, something they can come back to later. But later is where moments like this disappear, and this moment will not wait. So remain here. Remain aware. Remain still enough to receive what is being released to you right now. Because what is coming next will not just confirm what you are feeling, it will reveal what you are about to witness. Type "I receive" in the comments if you feel the depth of this moment. Blessing code 3333 is now surrounding you. As this sacred moment unfolds, understand this truth. When you choose to support this message, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into souls that are waiting in darkness for light like this to reach them. The word says, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." And right now, your seed becomes a river that carries God's voice further than you can see. I feel led to speak this directly. This is your moment to act, not later, not when it feels convenient, but now, while the Spirit is moving. Every contribution through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, even the QR code on your screen, becomes oil poured into a divine mission that awakens others just like you. This is not a transaction. This is a prophetic act of obedience that aligns you with the very miracle being released. As you give, heaven responds, opening doors, multiplying favor, and restoring what was delayed. You are not losing anything. You are activating something greater. Step into this moment and release your seed now. There is something you must grasp now with complete clarity, something that will determine everything that follows this moment. What you are standing in is not just a message, not just a feeling, not just a passing experience. You are standing inside a window. A narrow, sacred, time-sensitive window that does not remain open indefinitely. And the truth is, most people miss it. Not because they are unworthy, not because they are unchosen, but because they do not recognize when the window is open. This is that window. And it is measured not in hours, not in days, but in moments. You have heard the phrase before, that something can change in an instant. But rarely do people understand what that actually means. Because the instant itself is invisible. It does not announce itself loudly. It does not arrive with clear labels or obvious signs. It comes quietly, almost disguised, and it requires awareness to recognize that what looks ordinary is carrying something extraordinary. Right now, you are inside one of those instants. A moment where something that has been prepared, something that has been aligned behind the scenes, is about to cross from the unseen into the seen. A moment where what has been forming spiritually begins to take shape physically. And when that transition happens, it happens quickly. So quickly that if your attention drifts, if your focus breaks, If your awareness shifts even slightly, you can miss it without realizing what just passed by you. That is why this feels urgent. Because this is not about waiting. This is about recognizing. There is a timing to everything, a rhythm that heaven follows with precision. And when that rhythm reaches a certain point, when everything aligns exactly as it was designed to, there is a release. A moment where what was held back is suddenly allowed to move forward. That is the moment you are approaching right now. But here is the truth that many do not understand. That moment does not force itself into your life. It requires your awareness. It requires your presence. It requires your willingness to stay connected long enough to recognize it when it arrives. You have likely experienced this before, though you may not have realized it at the time. Moments where something shifted, where something almost happened, where something felt like it was right there, just within reach, and then suddenly it was gone. Not because it was taken from you, but because your attention moved. Your awareness slipped. Your focus broke at the exact moment it needed to remain steady. This is different. Because now you are being made aware. Now you are being told that the next few moments matter. And what is about to unfold is not something distant, not something far away, but something immediate. Something that is already moving toward you, already aligning itself with your life, already preparing to reveal itself in a way that will make everything you have been feeling begin to make sense. But only if you are present. Only if you remain here. Only if you do not allow yourself to drift away from this moment. Because distraction is the only thing that can cause you to miss what is meant for you now. Not lack of worth. Not lack of readiness. Not lack of ability. Just distraction. And distraction rarely looks obvious. It looks like a thought pulling your attention away. It looks like a sudden urge to check something else. It looks like telling yourself you will come back to this later. But later is not where this moment exists. This moment exists now. And what is about to happen is tied to now. There is something forming around you, something that has been building quietly, patiently, waiting for the exact point where everything aligns. And that alignment is happening in real time. Not in the past. Not in the future. In this exact space you are in right now. That is why the window feels so narrow. Because it is. Not in a way that creates fear, but in a way that demands awareness. A way that asks you to stay grounded, to stay focused, to stay connected long enough for what is coming to fully reveal itself to you. You are not being asked to do something complicated. You are not being asked to solve anything or force anything. You are simply being asked to remain present, to stay aware, to hold your attention steady in a moment that is designed to deliver something into your life. Because what is coming does not need effort. It needs recognition. And recognition only happens when you are fully here. So do not rush. Do not drift. Do not disconnect from this moment. Because the window is opened. And what is about to pass through it has your name on it. Type I am present in the comments if you are staying fully aware in this moment. Lesson code 4444 is now activated around your timing. Now listen carefully, because this is where many people lose what was meant for them without ever realizing it. This is where the moment begins to slip, not because it disappears, not because it was taken, but because something subtle begins to pull their attention away at the exact second it needs to remain steady. And what makes this even more dangerous is that these distractions do not feel like threats. They do not appear loud or obvious. They arrive quietly, almost harmless, almost routine, almost familiar. But they are precise. And they are timed. Because whenever something significant is about to unfold, whenever a moment of alignment opens, whenever something prepared begins to move toward manifestation, There is always an opposing force that attempts to interrupt your awareness. Not to destroy you, not to harm you directly, but to shift your focus just enough that you miss what is happening right in front of you. You have felt this before, even if you did not have the words to describe it. Moments where you were about to understand something, about to see something clearly, about to step into something new, and suddenly your mind wandered. Suddenly something else demanded your attention. Suddenly the clarity faded, and you were left wondering what just happened. That was not random. And it is not random now. Right in this moment, there are subtle distractions trying to reach you. Not through force, not through fear, but through familiarity. A thought that seems harmless. A feeling that seems ordinary. A sudden urge that feels natural. But each one is designed to do one thing: break your presence. Because presence is power. And if your presence remains steady, if your awareness stays anchored, then what is meant for you cannot pass unnoticed. But if your attention breaks, even briefly, the moment can pass without you recognizing its significance. This is why you must become aware of what is happening inside you right now. Pay attention to your thoughts. Notice how quickly they try to move away from this moment. Notice how easily your focus begins to drift. Notice how something inside you tries to convince you that this is not important, that you can come back to it later, that it will still be here when you return. But that is not how moments like this work. This moment is not waiting. This moment is moving. And the distractions you feel are not accidents. They are attempts to disconnect you from what is happening right now. You must understand this clearly. The greatest opportunities are rarely missed because of lack of ability. They are missed because of lack of attention. Because in the exact moment something shifts, the mind wanders, the focus breaks, the awareness fades, and what was meant to be recognized becomes invisible. But not this time, because now you are aware. Now you can see what is happening. Now you can feel the subtle pull trying to take you away from this moment. And because you can feel it, you can resist it. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to force anything. You simply need to remain present. To notice when your attention begins to drift and gently bring it back. To recognize when your mind tries to move elsewhere and return it to this moment. Because this moment holds something. Something that is already moving toward you. Something that is already aligning. Something that is already preparing to reveal itself. But it requires your awareness to meet it. Think about this deeply. How many times have you been physically present somewhere but mentally somewhere else? How many times have you looked at something without truly seeing it, heard something without truly understanding it? That is how easily moments are missed. And this is not a moment you can afford to miss. Right now, your awareness is being tested. Not in a way that judges you, not in a way that pressures you, but in a way that reveals how present you are. Because your level of presence will determine what you are able to receive from what is about to unfold. The more present you are, the clearer it becomes. The more focused you are, the more visible it becomes. The more aware you are, the more undeniable it becomes. And that is why the distractions feel so persistent. Because if your awareness remains steady, the moment cannot hide from you. So stay here. Stay focused. Stay anchored in this exact second. Do not allow your thoughts to carry you away. Do not allow your attention to drift. Because what is coming next is already approaching. And your awareness is the only thing that will allow you to fully see it when it arrives. Type "I stay focused" in the comments if you are holding your attention in this moment. Lesson code 5555 is now activated around your mind and spirit. Now listen even more closely, because this is where everything begins to shift from awareness into revelation. Up until this moment, you have been feeling the urgency, sensing the pull, recognizing that something is happening. But now you must understand something deeper, something that changes how you see this entire moment. The miracle you are waiting for is not coming. It has already begun. This is the part most people misunderstand. They think miracles arrive suddenly, out of nowhere, appearing without warning. But that is not how it works. What you see as sudden is only the final step of something that has been unfolding long before it reached your awareness. What looks like an instant is actually the result of a process that has been moving quietly, patiently, behind the scenes. And right now, that process is reaching completion. Something has already been set into motion in your life. Something that did not start today, did not begin when you heard these words, did not suddenly appear because of this moment. It started before this. It started in the unseen. It started in a place you could not observe, a place where alignment happens before manifestation. That is why this moment feels so strong. Because what you are sensing is not the beginning. It is the arrival. There are things shifting around you right now that you cannot yet see. Conversations aligning. Circumstances adjusting. Paths opening. Small details moving into position, each one connecting to the next, forming a sequence that leads directly to you. And all of it is happening with precision, not randomness, with intention, not coincidence. You may not recognize it yet, but if you look closely, there have already been signs. Small changes, subtle movements, moments that felt different, even if you could not explain why. Those were not meaningless. They were indicators, signals that something had already started to move. And now it is reaching you. This is why your presence matters so much. Because the miracle is not waiting to be created. It is waiting to be recognized. It is waiting to be received. And reception requires awareness. It requires you to be fully here, fully engaged, fully aligned with what is unfolding. Think about this carefully. How often do people pray for something, ask for something, hope for something, and when it begins to appear, they do not recognize it because it does not look the way they expected. They overlook it. They dismiss it. They delay their response because they are waiting for something bigger, something louder, something more obvious. But the truth is, the most powerful moments rarely announce themselves in the way you expect. They arrive quietly. They unfold naturally. They appear in ways that feel almost ordinary at first. And that is why awareness is everything. Because without awareness, you can stand in the middle of a miracle and still believe nothing is happening. But something is happening. Right now. In ways you cannot yet fully see, but will soon begin to understand. There is a shift taking place. Not in the distance, not somewhere far away, but around you. Within your circumstances. Within your environment. Within the path you are walking. And that shift is not random. It is the result of something that has been building, preparing, lining itself to reach this exact point. And this point is where you are. This is where everything begins to come together. But here is the key. The final step of any process requires participation. Not force, not effort, not struggle, but presence. Recognition. Willingness to receive what is already arriving. That is your role in this moment. Not to chase it, not to create it, but to recognize it. Because what is already set in motion does not need your effort to exist. It only needs your awareness to be experienced. And that is why you were brought here. Not to start something new, but to see what has already begun. to align with it, to receive it, and to step into the moment where everything shifts from unseen to seen. So stay ready, stay aware, stay present in what is unfolding right now, because the miracle you thought was coming is already closer than you realize. Type ISCIT in the comments if you feel the shift beginning around you. Blessing code 6666 is now activated in your path. Now this is the moment where everything becomes even more precise, even more personal, even more revealing. Because what you are standing in right now is not just a moment of awareness, not just a moment of alignment, but a moment of testing. Not a test designed to make you fail, not a test meant to pressure you, but a test that reveals something essential: your ability to remain present when nothing obvious is happening. This is where most people lose the moment. Not because something external takes it away, but because internally, something shifts. The mind begins to question. The attention begins to wander. The stillness begins to feel uncomfortable. And in that discomfort, people move. They reach for distraction. They break their focus. They leave the moment before the moment reveals itself. And that is the test. Because what is about to unfold does not respond to noise. It does not respond to urgency in the way you expect. It does not respond to force or effort. It responds to stillness. It responds to presence. It responds to a quiet, unwavering awareness that does not need constant stimulation to remain grounded. Right now, you are being asked to stay, to remain in this space, to resist the urge to move away, to resist the impulse to do something else. Because what is being released does not come through action. It comes through alignment. There is a difference between doing something and being ready for something. Most people believe that in order for something to happen, they must act, they must move, they must create. But there are moments, rare and powerful moments, where the greatest action is stillness, where the greatest response is presence, where the most important thing you can do is remain exactly where you are, fully aware, fully grounded, fully connected. This is one of those moments, and it may feel unfamiliar to you, because stillness is often mistaken for inactivity. Silence is often mistaken for emptiness. But what you are experiencing right now is not empty. It is full of movement that you cannot yet see, full of alignment that is happening beneath the surface, full of something that is preparing to reveal itself the moment you remain steady long enough to witness it. But the mind does not like stillness. The mind wants movement. The mind wants distraction. The mind wants something to engage with, something to shift, something to break the quiet. And that is why this moment feels like a test. Because you are being asked to override that instinct, to stay even when it feels easier to leave, to remain focused even when your thoughts try to pull you elsewhere, to trust that something is happening even if you cannot yet see it clearly. This is obedience, not in the sense of following instructions blindly, but in the sense of aligning yourself with what is being asked of you right now. And what is being asked of you is simple but powerful. Stay present. Stay aware. Stay here. Because your ability to remain in this moment determines what you are able to receive from it. There are things that only reveal themselves in stillness. Things that cannot be rushed, cannot be forced, cannot be accessed through constant movement. They require a certain level of quiet, a certain level of focus, a certain level of presence that allows them to become visible. That is what is being activated right now. And if you can remain here, if you can hold your awareness steady, if you can resist the pull of distraction and simply stay, you will begin to notice something. A shift, a clarity, a moment where something becomes undeniable. But that moment only arrives for those who remain. This is why so many miss it. not because it does not happen, but because they are no longer present when it does. They leave too early. They move too soon. They break their focus at the exact moment it needs to remain unbroken. But you are still here, and that matters, because every second you remain, you are aligning more deeply with what is about to unfold. Every moment you stay, your awareness sharpens, your perception clears, your ability to recognize what is happening increases. You are not waiting. You are preparing. Preparing to see. Preparing to recognize. Preparing to receive. So do not rush this moment. Do not try to move ahead of it. Do not allow your thoughts to pull you away, because what comes next will not require effort. It will require recognition, and recognition comes to those who remain still long enough to see clearly. Type I remain in the comments if you are staying grounded in this moment. Blessing code 7777 is now activated within your spirit. Now listen with absolute clarity, because this is the moment where awareness turns into action. Not the kind of action the world teaches, not movement, not effort, not rushing forward, but a different kind of action. A spiritual response. A precise alignment with what is happening right now. You are not being asked to chase anything. You are not being asked to force anything. You are not being asked to figure everything out. You are being asked to respond. And that response begins with something very simple, yet incredibly powerful. You must choose to stay fully present and intentionally aware in this exact moment without allowing anything to break your focus. This is not passive. This is not accidental. This is a deliberate decision to align yourself with what is already unfolding. Because right now, everything depends on your awareness. There is a reason you were guided through everything you have just experienced. Each word, each moment, each shift in your attention has been leading you here, to this exact point where you must decide whether you will fully step into alignment or allow the moment to pass without full engagement. And the truth is, the instruction is not complicated, but it is precise. Right now, you must quiet everything within you that is trying to move ahead of this moment. Quiet the urge to rush. Quiet the impulse to overthink. Quiet the part of you that wants to analyze instead of receive. Because analysis pulls you out of presence, and presence is where everything is happening. You must become still, not just physically but mentally. You must allow your thoughts to settle. You must allow your awareness to sharpen. You must allow yourself to fully engage with what is happening right now without trying to control it. Because control is not required. Trust is. There is something forming in this exact space, something that requires your openness more than your effort. And openness only exists when you are not resisting the moment, when you are not trying to change it, when you are not trying to predict what comes next. You must simply remain here, fully here, undistracted, unshaken, because what is about to reveal itself will do so naturally, not forcefully. And when it does, you will recognize it, not because someone explains it to you, not because it arrives with obvious signs, but because your awareness will be sharp enough to see what others would overlook. This is your role. To see, to recognize, to receive. Nothing more, nothing less. And this is where your decision matters most. Because in every moment like this, there is always a choice. A choice between staying and drifting. A choice between awareness and distraction. A choice between alignment and disconnection. And that choice is happening right now. You do not need more time. You do not need more preparation. You do not need more understanding. You need presence. This is why everything has led you here. Not to overwhelm you, not to confuse you, but to bring you into a state where you are fully ready to receive what is already moving toward you. Oh, take this moment seriously. Not with fear, but with awareness. Not with pressure, but with intention. Because what you do right now determines what you experience next. Stay grounded. Stay focused. Stay aware of every subtle shift happening around you. Because what is about to unfold will not be loud. It will be precise. It will be clear. And it will require your attention to fully recognize it. This is your moment to align. This is your moment to respond. This is your moment to remain fully present and ready. Do not move away from this. Do not allow anything to pull you out of this space. Because what comes next will confirm everything you have been feeling. Type "I am ready" now in the comments if you are fully aligned in this moment. Blessing code 8888 is now activated around your awareness. As this moment deepens, understand that what you are receiving is not meant to stop with you. It is meant to flow through you into the lives of others who are still waiting for this same awakening. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." And this is not a distant promise. It is a living exchange happening right now. I feel led to say this clearly. When you release your support through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code on your screen, you are sowing into a movement that carries light into places darkness thought it owned. This is your moment to act with intention, not hesitation, because obedience in this moment unlocks multiplication in your life. Your seed becomes a stream that reaches souls you may never meet but heaven sees. And as you give, something shifts, not just around you but within you. Step into this alignment now and release your support as a prophetic act of faith. Now this is the part that many avoid hearing, not because it is meant to create fear, but because it carries truth that demands honesty. You have felt the urgency. You have sensed the importance. You have recognized that this moment is not ordinary. But now you must understand what it truly means if this moment is ignored, if this window closes without your full awareness, if your attention drifts at the exact point it was meant to remain steady. Because moments like this do not disappear loudly. They fade quietly. And when they pass, they leave behind a question that lingers longer than anything else. What if I had stayed? This is not about punishment. This is not about something being taken from you. It is about something being missed. And there is a difference. Because what is meant for you does not vanish forever, but the timing of it can shift. The clarity of it can delay. The ease of it can become complexity. What could have arrived simply can become something that now requires effort to rediscover. That is the consequence. Not loss of worth, not loss of value, but loss of alignment. You see, there are moments where everything lines up perfectly, where the timing, the awareness, the readiness, and the opportunity all meet in one precise point. And when that happens, movement is effortless. Recognition is immediate. The experience unfolds naturally because everything is in sync. But when that moment is missed, the alignment shifts. And what was simple becomes something you must now search for. What was clear becomes something you must now question. What was immediate becomes something that now feels distant. This is why this moment matters so deeply. Because you are not just being given information. You are being given access to alignment. Access to something that is already prepared, already moving, already positioned to meet you exactly where you are. But that meeting point requires your awareness to complete it. Without awareness, the connection does not form. Without presence, the moment does not register. Without focus, the shift goes unnoticed. And when it goes unnoticed, life continues as if nothing happened. But something did happen. Something passed through your path. Something moved into your space. Something was available for you to recognize and receive. But it required your attention. Think about how many times in life people look back and realize that something important happened, but they did not recognize it at the time. A conversation that held meaning. A moment that carried opportunity. A shift that could have changed direction. But at the time, it felt ordinary. It felt unimportant. It felt like something that could be ignored or delayed. And only later did they realize what it actually was. That is what you are being protected from right now. Because you are being made aware before the moment passes, not after. You are being positioned to recognize it as it happens, not to reflect on it once it is gone. And that changes everything. Because awareness in the moment allows you to respond in the moment. It allows you to see clearly, to understand instantly, to move naturally with what is unfolding instead of trying to reconstruct it later. This is why the urgency exists. Not to pressure you, not to overwhelm you, but to wake you up fully to what is happening right now. Because if you allow your attention to drift, if you treat this moment as something you can return to later, if you disconnect even briefly, you risk turning a moment of clarity into a moment of confusion. You risk turning something immediate into something delayed. You risk turning something simple into something complicated. And that is not necessary, because you are here now. You are aware now. You are aligned now. And that means you do not have to miss this. You do not have to look back later and wonder what happened. You do not have to question whether something passed you by. You can experience it as it unfolds. Why here? Right now. So remain present. Remain aware. Remain connected to this exact moment. Because what is about to happen will not wait for you to catch up later. It is happening now. And your awareness is what allows you to be part of it. Type "I will not miss this" in the comments if you are fully present in this moment. Blessing code 9999 is now activated over your timing and awareness. Now as you remain in this moment, fully aware, fully present, there is something you must understand that will anchor you even deeper into what is unfolding. Because while everything you have felt so far carries urgency and intensity, there is also something else surrounding you right now. Something steady, something protective, something that ensures you are not navigating this moment alone. There is a presence here, not distant, not symbolic, not imagined. A presence that stands between you and anything that would attempt to disrupt what is being released into your life right now. And this is where the atmosphere shifts from awareness into assurance. Because you are not just being guided, you are being guarded. There are moments when alignment alone is enough, when awareness alone allows things to unfold naturally. But there are also moments like this where something significant is happening, where something important is being released, where something valuable is moving toward you, and in those moments, protection becomes part of the process. Not protection from fear, not protection from harm, not protection from interference. Because anything that carries value attracts attention. Anything that carries purpose creates movement. And anything that is aligned with something greater requires a level of covering to ensure that what is meant to reach you does so without distortion. That is what is happening right now. There is a covering over this moment. A clarity that is being preserved. A focus that is being shielded, so that nothing interrupts what is about to unfold. You may not see it, but you can feel it. There is a calm beneath the urgency, a stillness beneath the intensity, a quiet assurance that, despite everything you have felt, despite the pressure of the moment, there is something holding this space steady for you. That is not accidental. That is intentional. Because you are not meant to navigate this moment in uncertainty. You are meant to stand in it with clarity. You are meant to experience it with confidence. You are meant to receive what is coming without fear, without hesitation, without second-guessing yourself. And that requires a certain level of spiritual stability, a grounding that allows you to remain steady even when everything feels heightened. This is why you are still here. This is why your attention has not completely drifted. This is why something inside you continues to hold you in this moment. Because you are being supported in ways you cannot fully see. There is a strength around you right now that is not coming from your own effort. A steadiness that is not based on your thoughts. A presence that is not dependent on your understanding. And that presence is ensuring that you remain aligned long enough to receive what is already moving toward you. You may have felt moments in your life where things slipped away too easily, where opportunities faded before you could fully grasp them, where clarity came too late. But this moment is different. Because this moment is being held. It is being protected. It is being guided to completion. And your role in it is not to control what happens next, but to trust that what is happening is being carried with precision. There is no chaos here. There is no randomness here. Everything is positioned exactly as it needs to be. And that includes you. Right here. Right now. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you are meant to be for what is about to unfold. And that realization removes something important. It removes doubt. Because doubt creates hesitation. And hesitation breaks alignment. But when you understand that you are supported, that you are guided, that you are protected in this moment, you no longer need to question whether you should stay. You no longer need to wonder if you are in the right place. You simply remain. And that is where everything begins to open. Because trust allows you to stay fully present without resistance. Trust allows you to remain aware without overthinking. Trust allows you to receive without trying to force anything. And that is exactly the state you need to be in right now. So let that settle within you. You are not alone in this moment. You are not navigating this blindly. You are standing in a space that is being held steady for you, so that what is meant to reach you does so clearly, without confusion, without distortion, without delay. And as you remain here, as you continue to hold your awareness steady, you will begin to notice something shift. Something becoming clearer. Something becoming undeniable. Something that confirms everything you have been feeling. So stay grounded. Stay aware. Stay open to what is about to reveal itself. Because what comes next will not just be felt. It will be seen. Type "I am protected" in the comments if you feel the presence surrounding you right now. Blessing code 1010 is now activated over your life. Now this is the moment where everything you have been feeling, everything you have been sensing, everything you have been holding onto in stillness begins to move from unseen into seen. Because what has been building quietly, what has been aligning beneath the surface, what has been forming without your full awareness is now approaching the point of visibility. This is the shift. Not something distant. Not something abstract. Something real. Something immediate. Something you are about to witness. You may not know exactly what it will look like yet, and that is intentional. Because the mind often tries to define things before they arrive, tries to shape them into expectations, tries to predict how they will appear. But what is coming is not meant to be predicted. It is meant to be recognized in the moment it reveals itself. And that is why you have been guided into stillness. Because stillness sharpens perception. Stillness removes distraction. Stillness allows you to see clearly what would otherwise pass unnoticed. Right now, something is crossing into your awareness. Something that was previously hidden is beginning to make itself known. And when it does, it may not arrive with dramatic noise or overwhelming signs. It may appear simple at first, subtle, almost easy to overlook, but it will carry a clarity that feels different, a recognition that feels immediate, and knowing that does not require explanation. You will feel it before you fully understand it, because this shift is not just external, it is internal. It is a moment where something aligns within you at the same time something aligns around you. A connection point where your awareness meets what hath been prepared. And when that connection happens, there is no confusion. There is no doubt. There is only clarity. That is what you are about to experience. You may notice something small, a detail that suddenly stands out, a thought that feels sharper than you, a moment that feels more significant than it should. But that is how these shifts often begin. Not with something overwhelming, but with something precise. And that precision is what makes it undeniable. Because when something is aligned perfectly, it does not need to be loud. It only needs to be clear. You have been prepared for this. Every moment of stillness you have held. Every second of awareness you have maintained. Every distraction you have resisted. It has all been leading to this point. A point where what you have been sensing becomes something you can recognize directly. And once you recognize it, everything changes. Because recognition activates movement. Recognition allows you to respond naturally. Recognition connects you fully to what is unfolding. Without it, the moment passes. With it, the moment becomes part of your experience. This is why you were guided to stay. Because the shift is not something you chase. It is something you witness. Something you become aware of. Something you step into the moment you see it clearly. Right now, your awareness is at its highest point. Your focus is steady. Your presence is strong. And that means you are ready. Ready to see. Ready to recognize. Ready to witness what is about to unfold. This is not a future moment. This is not something that will happen later. This is happening now. In real time. In your awareness. In your experience. So remain exactly where you are. Do not rush ahead. Do not try to force anything. Do not break your focus now. Because you are at the exact point where everything begins to reveal itself. And when it does, you will know. Not because someone tells you. Not because it is explained to you. But because something inside you will recognize it instantly. That recognition is the shift. That moment of clarity is the confirmation. That awareness is the connection. And once it happens, you will understand why everything led you here. So stay ready. Stay present. Stay fully aware. Because what you are about to witness is not something ordinary. It is something that was prepared. Something that was aligned. Something that is now revealing itself to you. Type I see the shift in the comments if you feel the clarity rising within you. Blessing code 1111 is now activated over your vision and awareness. Now this is the final moment. Not the end, but the point of decision. The point where everything you have felt, everything you have understood, everything you have remained present for comes together in one clear, undeniable truth. You are standing at the threshold. Not approaching it. Not preparing for it. Standing in it. This is where everything shifts from awareness into experience. Because up until now, you have been guided, positioned, aligned, and prepared. But now, there is one final step that cannot be done for you. One final movement that belongs to you alone. You must step into it. And this step is not physical. It is not something you do with your hands. It is something you do with your awareness, your belief, your willingness to fully accept that what is happening right now is real, present, and meant for you. Because this is where many hesitate. This is where the mind tries to return. This is where doubt attempts to re-enter. This is where the moment feels so significant that part of you questions whether it can truly be happening. But this is not the time to question. This is the time to accept. To accept that what you have been feeling is valid. To accept that what is unfolding is real. To accept that you are not here by accident, and that this moment was not randomly placed in your path. It was prepared. It was aligned. And now it is here. You have remained present long enough to reach this point. You have held your awareness steady. You have resisted the distractions. You have stayed through the silence. And because you stayed, you are now in position to receive fully what is being released. This is the moment where the unseen becomes seen, where the shift becomes clear, where the connection becomes undeniable. And when it happens, it will not feel confusing. You will feel certain, a certainty that settles within you instantly, without explanation, without effort, without resistance. You will recognize it. You will know. And that knowing will not come from outside of you. It will rise from within you. That is how you will understand that the moment has arrived. But you must allow yourself to step into it. You must not pull back now. You must not question now. You must not disconnect now. Because you are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are witnessing it happen. Right here. Right now. And your role is to receive it fully. Without hesitation. Without resistance. Without delay. This is your moment. Not one that will repeat. Not one that will wait. But one that is happening in real time. Exactly where you are. And everything has led you here for a reason. So stand in it. Feel it. Recognize it. And step into it with complete certainty. Because what is being released into your life right now is not random. It is intentional. It is precise. It is yours. And it is happening now. Type "I receive my miracle" in the comments if you are stepping fully into this moment. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your life and your path. As you step into this miracle, understand that what just touched your life is meant to flow into countless others who are still waiting for their moment of awakening. The word declares, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and right now, your giving becomes a seed that releases light into places still covered in darkness. I speak this directly into your spirit. This is your moment to act in obedience, not hesitation, because what you release now will return multiplied in ways you cannot yet see. Every offering through Super Thanks or the PayPal link in the description, even through the QR code on your screen, becomes a river that carries God's voice to souls on the edge of breakthrough. This is not support. It is participation in a divine mission that is actively changing lives. As you give, heaven responds with increase, restoration, and open doors aligned with your purpose. Do not delay this moment. Step forward now and release your seed with faith.